The Republic of Georgia sits at the gateway to Europe, with Russia to the north, Turkey to the south, Armenia and Azerbaijan to the southeast. It has a rich indigenous culture that also reflects influences from all its neighbors. Georgia is an area rich in limestone gorges and caves, and the northwest region boasts not only the deepest known cave on Earth, the Krubera Cave, at over 2,000 meters deep, but also the largest cave in the world, the New Afon Cave. Up until about 40,000 years ago, Neanderthals and early modern humans shared this environment and had done so for some tens of thousands of years. Ron Pinhasi is an archaeologist and biological anthropologist based at University College Cork in Ireland. His research interests include the Middle Upper Paleolithic transition in the Trans-Caucasus, the Mesolithic Neolithic transition in Europe, and the evolution and dispersal of early Holocene populations.
So the aim of the project is to look at Middle to Upper Paleolithic transition in the region of Imereti, which is western Georgia. It's a continuation in a way of my Science Foundation of Ireland project, which investigates phylogeography of Neanderthals in the southern Caucasus, where we are now, and comparing it to the northern Caucasus, which is over the Greater Caucasus range. So we are in the, so to speak, the southern slopes of the Greater Caucasus, which was a major geographic barrier potentially to modern humans and Neanderthals. And we started excavating this cave only this year, although it's been investigated or tested already by the French team led by Marie-Hélène Moncel and by Nika Tushabamishvili, where they found both Upper Paleolithic and Middle Paleolithic artifacts indicating that both modern humans and Neanderthals lived in this cave at some stage. Now, the interest of our team is been formed by the fact that we have a very deep 45 to 47 meter pit at the back of the cave, which is starting from a diameter of about 7 meters and going vertically down, drop for about 45 meters to a narrower outlet of about diameter of 3 meters. And interest in this pit is that it's been investigated by some alpinists and speleologists, and there are lots of both human and animal bones at the bottom of it. Now, so far we only got some dates of medieval human bones, and we also have some animal bones that we're analyzing now. It was necessary to build infrastructure to start this project. This is a very complicated project, very technically challenging, and safety and so on. And so we had to wait 2 years until we built, together with joint funding, this mechanical elevator, like a mining elevator, so we can actually reach the pit, because reaching it by ropes is not practical. I mean, it's possible, but it's not practical for carrying out sediments and actually carrying out excavations. So now it's the only beginning of this possibility. So we started it now in this season, and we also have a date of 23,000 for one of the shelves coming out of the pit of a cave bear, suggesting that the pit may have potentially very old animal and human bones. We believe it from the dates that the preservation of the bones is fantastic, perhaps because of the cool temperature and because of the karst environment, which is good for bone preservation, also for human and animal DNA. So we hope we can get a lot of information about DNA of animals in this region, which is very interesting, and it's done in collaboration with people at Trinity College Dublin and University of York and University of Mainz. And at the moment we are starting to work where the French team and us are working at the front. We are doing, so to speak, regular excavations at the front, exposing layers, understanding the geology and geoarchaeology of the layers, understanding the fauna, the animal, the subsistence, the lithics, and so on. We also did, together with UCC collaborators, 2 trenches, one in the further in and one even further in, to understand whether there was first human occupation or Neanderthal occupation inside the cave, between the pit and the front. So we're talking about approximately 60-70 meter corridor. And so far we already found lithics at the pit that Kieran excavated, about 15 or more, potentially Upper Paleolithic and maybe Middle Paleolithic too. And we also found some lithics further in, less, but we found some stone tools further in. So it suggests to us that possibly we have human occupation inside the cave. And this is, of course, already very interesting. Why were they occupying the insides of the cave? And what was the relationship to the pit? If there wasn't a relation, did they use it for refuse? Did they use it at all? Did they accidentally fall in? Did animals fall in? This is now investigated, but it's very complex because this cave has very complex and long-term formation processes with periods where now we believe was originally completely filled with sediments, perhaps a long time before humans ever came here, and then various rockfalls, various washing of the sediments by one way or another, and dissolution. And we have remnants of that on the walls and all sorts of things. And so basically for us it's a challenging project because it's a new type of project, first of all in Georgia, but anyhow it's a complicated project because it really requires interdisciplinary work, because normally archaeologists are mostly working on the outside of the cave or the first part of it. They don't normally dig deep caves. They don't normally dig karstic pits that are 45 meters deep. And therefore, that's probably why I started this project, because I thought it was an interesting challenge. And we're far from knowing exactly what we're going to get. I mean, we're certainly gathering information, but it's going to take several years until we get, we might get human fossils, we might get very exciting things, but it requires very thorough work with geologists and so on to understand, first of all, the cave and the environment.
The reasons for the failure of Neanderthals and ultimate success of early modern human beings have puzzled archaeologists, but recent excavations in western Georgia have provided new data concerning this early example of human Darwinian competition. Evidence of these early humans, dubbed Homo georgicus, comes from fossils found in Georgia that are over 1.8 million years old. One theory is that these early modern humans may have even been a separate species of Homo, predating Homo erectus, and possibly represents the earliest stage of human presence in the Caucasus. Fossil skeletons have also been found, showing it to be a species, primitive in its skull and upper body form, but with relatively advanced spines and lower limbs. However, another theory is that Homo georgicus is not a separate species, but rather represents a stage soon after the transition between Australopithecus and Homo erectus. This is the first time that archaeologists have been able to descend into the pit. It will take many more years before the sediments at the entrance, inside the cave and from the pit are fully excavated and identified. Only then will we know what the pit was used for. Homo georgicus is the earliest known species of Homo to settle in Europe, and clearly making Georgia one of the most important areas of prehistory in Europe.